Same brand, same products, two completely different SEO budgets. The $500 a month strategy, a complete and total disaster that actually cost the brand money for over 2 straight years. The $5,000 a month strategy, they nearly 10x their organic search revenue and generated over $1 million from SEO in less than 10 months. My name is Cromwell, and I run an e-commerce SEO agency that works with 7, 8, and 9-figure Shopify brands to scale their organic search revenue on autopilot, adding tens of thousands of dollars in revenue every single month for my clients. $500 SEO is a complete and total scam. Today, I'm going to break down how I absolutely crushed a $500 cheap SEO strategy with a real $5,000 strategy of my own. So let's get into it. All right. So I've talked pretty extensively about how bad $500 a month SEO services can actually be. But this is actually a real report from a client I've worked with from their previous agency who's charging them $500 a month. All right. So this is what you're paying for when you pay $500 a month. This is what you get. Okay. You will get a big spreadsheet that means effectively nothing, and you will get no results. And in fact, it's going to cost you. You're not going to make any money. Investing $500 in your e-commerce brand will never make you any money. Okay. The only way, at least not through SEO. Okay. If you spend $500 on ads, yeah, you're probably gonna make some money. Okay. But if you invest $500 a month in SEO for like a year, so $6,000 in total, you're just going to spend $6,000 and be mad and frustrated the entire time. You're not going to rank number one. You're not going to make any money from SEO. Simple as that. Okay. So I've redacted all of the client's information here for the sake of their privacy. However, like this is what $500 a month will get you. Okay. This is a very high level. So I'll go through some of the tabs and just quickly show you. But you get this is what $500 a month gets you. You get 68 submissions to local directories. This is an e-commerce brand, by the way, not a local business. So immediately this is worthless. You get 112 profile creations. Some of those profile creations include OnlyFans. They include getpocket.com, visually, dribble with 3 B's. That's what you get. Image sharing, 1,052 image shares apparently. Again, same terrible sites as the profile creations. You get 1,200 social bookmarks, 300 blog post backlinks. I guarantee you none of those backlinks are actually good. I would bet maybe 3 of them are actually do follow. The other 297 are like blog or forum comments or something. Completely worthless to you. Classified ads doesn't really need an explanation. Document sharing, 283. Don't even know what the hell document sharing would even qualify as. Let's take a look. Probably PDF sharing. Oh no, it's something else. All right. Document sharing. You get a live link on filedropper.com. And then you get another link from them. Ridiculous. Search engine submissions. This is worthless too. I don't even know what that is. PDF sharing doesn't work. They'll misspell the word Quora questions for you and then go submit Quora. So this looks terrible, right? But this is confusing and hard to follow. Okay, let's just get into the keywords, and then I'm actually going to show you what the site's traffic look like in this 2-year span. All right, so let's look at like Clutch Wallet as an example. Okay, 1,400 searches a month. Competition's medium. I don't know who the hell on earth puts competition in low, medium, and high unless they've tiered it out. Typically, most keyword research tools like SEMrush, Ahrefs will have a numerical digit assigned to competition. So I don't know how these people classified competition as low, medium, and high. But ironically, you can see like Clutch Wallet was actually a keyword I ended up ranking them number 1 for once we started. Now I'm going to show you what that looks like. However, when they started the strategy in 2021, the brand actually ranked number 11, which is pretty good. This actually happened to be a collection page. I think we added a few internal links to the page. We definitely optimized the collection page copy, and we probably built 2 or 3 backlinks to it, and it got to number 1. When this $500 a month agency started, it was at position 11. You can actually see the keyword got worse over time. It went from 11 to 15 to 66 to 76 to 72 to 90 to not even in the top 100 to 94 to 94, which is effectively impossible to find. I've never even clicked to the 10th page of Google. Guarantee you that you haven't either. I'm sure that's not the only keyword that does that. Crossbody leather bag, we ranked them number one for this one too. Started at 45, which is by no means good when they started in 2022, or when the keyword first got picked up in 22. But it actually ended up sinking to 65 at a maximum sync of 91. This one, boho leather purse was 8. It ended up at 50. Let's see what else we got here. Bohemian handbags, 8 to 13. It's like knocked it off page 1, which is crazy. This one went, boho crossbody bag went from 7 to 90. Just brutal, honestly. All right, so I'm not gonna go through much more of this report. This is probably what you're getting at $500 a month. And I've seen other ones that are like $400, $750. They all look the same. They're all some shitty spreadsheet with a lot of information that is intended to make it look like they've done a lot of work. And yeah, they've done a lot of manual keyboard work, but they have not done anything that is possibly going to make you money. They have just wasted a bunch of hours doing a bunch of outdated stuff that's not actually going to work for you. Okay, so let me get over to SEMrush and we'll see exactly how it looks beyond the spreadsheet. All right, so looking at the brand in SEMrush now. So that agency started in April of 2021 and they ran till about June of 2023, which is when I first started with the brand. So, I mean, you can see, like, I'll look at the numbers, but like you can see through 2021 here through 2023, nothing happened at all. Traffic was completely flat. And so we'll just get into the numbers here. So April was 6,000 roughly. Moving forward a little bit, August was 6,500. December was 6,500 still. Moving into April of next year, 6,200. So again, just same pretty much. August, almost 7,000. This is like all branded, by the way. All branded. Like 95% of it was branded. And then getting into like December, or let's say January of 23, still 6,500. Like has not grown in literally 2 years. They've sunk $500 a month in for 2 years. So they've effectively spent $12,000 and not made a single dollar. They were frustrated, obviously. I would be too if I spent $12,000 and didn't get any of it back. And honestly, they're pretty apprehensive about SEO. Now, when I spoke to them, I pitched them. I didn't pitch them at $5,000. I actually pitched them less than that. But for the sake of the video, like it was almost 5,000. Okay, now we started in, like I said, June of 2023. Okay, now June 2023, it's 6,800. July, they finally break 7,000 for the first time. Not great. Not a huge amount of growth in the month one, but good. August, they're at 8,000. September, still at 8,000. And then things start to turn up a lot. October, 10,000. November, 17,000. 19,000 December. 25.5 in January. 33 in Feb. Down a little bit to 29.5 in March. April goes back to 30. May, 37. June goes to 80. We picked up a really good keyword here that was seasonal. And SEMrush they ended up never updating their database for some reason on this keyword. I think it was like a Mother's Day keyword that apparently had like over 100,000 searches a month, which wasn't true, but it, like seasonally it appeared that the data suggests that, but it wasn't. Got readjusted here to like 43, which is more accurate. Then we went up to 74,000 roughly. Again, had a database adjustment here. And then we've been like, yeah. And then I actually left the brand in late 24, early 25. But went from, I mean, even, 7,000 to like even at the drop to like 58. So this is what I hate to use the word more expensive SEO strategy, but that it is more expensive. However, you're investing in your brand. Okay, so let me break down the differences between $500 and $5,000 a month, and like what you get. Not only like as evidenced here, you get a lot more. You make a lot more money. But it's even in like when you're prospecting agencies, like what things you should be looking at and like questions you should be asking that will tell you or indicate, like, suggest to you what is actually going to happen when you start paying an agency provider. Like what are the things they do and what are the things that are actually going to drive revenue, and pricing aside, like you can figure out how, if at all, it's going to work. All right. So I showed you the $500 a month SEO report. And if you ever paid $500 a month or similar for an SEO service, yours probably looked similar to that, maybe slightly different, but it probably looked like that. It probably came in a spreadsheet form or like a really like bare bones PDF. It likely, strategy itself, if you can even call it a strategy, likely included dozens of low effort informational blog posts, probably written by ChatGPT or some other LLM. Zero focus on any of your product pages, no optimized collection pages, no new collection pages, no focus on revenue, only on traffic, maybe rankings. And it's really just more like a hope someone actually buys something. Like I guarantee, like once you paid that person and they showed you what they were going to do, even you were like, wow, I hope this works. Because even you looked at it and were like, shit, that's bad. So I would say right now, like as I run an agency, no SEO agency on earth can charge $500 a month and be profitable and also deliver results. It is impossible. Okay. Informational blog content. I've made tons of videos about this recently. Top of funnel informational blog content is completely irrelevant now in e-commerce SEO strategies. And the reason is because it's been replaced by either one, AI overviews in Google search results, or two, people just going to ChatGPT or Perplexity or whatever to search for their informational query there. Okay. We don't write any more top funnel blog content for our clients because it doesn't fucking work. Okay. These kinds of pages are very simple to answer in ChatGPT's and now Google's like common knowledge base. So it doesn't need your top funnel content. Okay. The only thing we do is middle funnel and bottom funnel content now, which is what I'm getting into now. So $5,000 strategy. How does it work? Why does it work? What to look for? Okay. High level breakdown. We start at the bottom of the funnel. Pretty much start and end the strategy at the bottom of the funnel. That's like pretty much highlight of how I operate with our $5,000 a month strategies, right? And again, my agency fees range from a couple thousand to $5,000 and above, but I'll tell you, we don't charge $500. It's more than that. Okay. Now, what do? Optimize product pages, optimize collection pages, both like existing ones, as well as creating new collections, sub collections to target, specific ICPs, other versions of keywords, things like that. Like we want to get your products in front of as many people as possible who are ready to buy something on Google. That is how you make money. Okay. It is not through blog content. Now, blog content does still play a role in our strategies, but we don't do informational top of funnel shit. Middle of funnel, bottom funnel only. A couple reasons for this. First of which, about 6 months ago, I made the decision that we were going to stop doing top funnel stuff because AI overviews were answering all those questions, and I didn't want to compete on a keyword that I was going to lose 30 to 40% of my clicks anyway. So I said, we're done doing it. 2 weeks ago or so, I found out, in fact, that actually LLMs are citing 50 to 74% of all LLM citations come from middle and bottom funnel content. Now, this comes in the form of buying guides, product pages, category pages, or collection pages, competitor alternatives, competitor comparisons, solution alternatives, like all this middle, bottom funnel stuff is what ChatGPT, Perplexity, DeepSeek, Claude, all of these LLMs want to cite because it is the most valuable information, and they have to cite that information because it is not in their common knowledge base, right? So that is what we do. We also supplement with internal links, backlink building, all that kind of stuff, but it's really all focused on revenue and really just I'm interested in making you money. I don't give a shit about how much blog traffic you have because that will not pay your bills. E-commerce SEO is still alive. It's just that, like, you can't, no, I mean, no one could ever be profitable on $500 a month SEO as an agency provider. And actually on both sides, like if you're paying, like I said before, if you're paying $500 a month to someone, you will not be profitable either. In fact, you'll be clearly in the red. An agency doing $500 a month will be in the green, but they'll only be in the green because you'll be in the red. You just won't get any results. AI overviews have killed informational blog content. It's like that agency case that I just walked through. They wrote like 160 blogs. None of them ranked on page 1, and none of them fucking matter anymore because they were all top of funnel. We got rid of most of them. And that was even before like AI reviews rolled out, but we got rid of most of them that weren't performing. And we just focused on transactional keywords, collection pages, product pages, all that kind of stuff. Okay. So that is how $500 and $5,000 a month in SEO varies. Okay. So if you want to win in e-commerce SEO, this is what I recommend you do. Focus on ranking your product and collection pages, not writing hundreds of worthless blog posts. Once you've covered all of your bases on the product and collection pages, start building out middle of funnel and bottom of funnel blog content. Buying guides, product comparisons, competitor alternatives. These get cited more than any other type of content in LLMs. Like I said, 50 to 74% of citations in LLMs are from that kind of content. And I just did a video on it, I think a week or two ago, and it's got the study, like the report or study, like linked from that data. Okay, I didn't just make those numbers up. Those are real study. That's a real study based on like 750,000, I think, citations. You need to adapt to the new search or get wiped out by it. Okay. I know so many SEOs that have absolutely zero plan to adapt to this new age of search. They are just going to keep charging the same amount of money they're charging, keep doing the same things, and pray to God that they can keep signing clients at a higher rate than they earn them. They're still pushing informational blog content to have a 1% chance of getting cited in LLMs and AI overviews, which is extremely unlikely. Okay. There may be some world out there where you can write top of funnel informational blog content and get cited in LLMs, but it is very, very rare. It is a small world, and I do not recommend you spending your time there. These agencies will charge you just enough to lure you in, and the only way you can actually succeed moving forward with SEO now, and what we're doing now, is building hyper-targeted product and collection pages, supporting them with middle and bottom of funnel blog content that's getting cited in LLMs, and building internal links and backlinks religiously to support the entire framework. So if you're currently stuck with an agency charging $500 a month and you're really fed up with it, book a call with me and we'll chat about working together. Peace.